Hey, it's definitely football season. You want to know why? Sean Lee has a sprained MCL, and AJ Green is out. Football is back, everybody. Run that ad.
What it do, baby?
That's right. What it do, baby? You've tuned in to the number one podcast in your headphones, Prem Brulee. That's right. Don't ever get it twisted. Don't ever play yourselves. I am your host, Premal of the Play Call Network. And let's get going on, yeah fam or nah. First up, the Ezekiel Elliott holdout. Yeah fam or nah? Zeke has 2 years and $12 to $13 million left on his rookie contract. Should he be in camp? I'm a yeah fam to the holdout. Listen, I am a Cowboys fan. I want to see Zeke in camp, but you got to get money when you can. Yes, I know he signed a contract. I know all that. But the only way he can get what he wants is by withholding his services. In an age where owners and teams have all the power, this is the one instance where players can exercise their power. I'm all for it, especially in a position where they only get pretty much one opportunity to get paid. So I'm a yeah fam, and I hope the Cowboys work that out. There will be more on this subject a little later, as you probably have guessed. Next up, this became a topic of conversation. LeBron James is doing too much at his son Bronny's games. His celebrating, his losing his shoes and chest bumping, being part of his son's warm-up line dunking. It's all been a topic of conversation this week in a slow sports week. So yeah, fam or not, is LeBron doing too much? Okay, so news has been this slow that we want to talk about a guy. You know what? First, let me fucking establish that I couldn't be any more nah to this. We are actually in a time talking about how a guy being happy and involved in his kid's sports life and actually cheering. None of that bullshit yelling and overcoaching we hear so much about from parents in the stands. Just because it's fucking LeBron James, it's an issue, right? LeBron grew up without a dad, and he's a polar opposite of his absent dad. But this is an issue. Y'all want to tell him how to parent next? Or tell him how to train? He's not doing good enough for you? We're just a bunch of fucking experts now, right? Mr. James, please calm down your pride and excitement for your son's accomplishments. What kid wouldn't want to see their parent that hype celebrating them? Also, what kid wouldn't want LeBron James celebrating them? Because keep in mind, LeBron isn't only celebrating his son, he is making sure to give props to other players that his son is either playing or playing with. And this is a fucking issue. The guy was celebrating over his son's spectacular play, chest bumped another excited fan, and his shoe fell off, and he had to go on the court to grab his shoe. This is what we're fucking talking about right now? These sports networks need to just go off the fucking air. Show reruns, show classic games. I don't give a shit. This is what you want to talk about? A dad supporting his kid? This is what we're really fucking focused on right now. Any chance we get, right? It's gotta be something to do with LeBron, doesn't it? If my son or daughter somehow becomes athletic enough and starts balling out, dunking, hitting home runs, I'm gonna be the same fucking way, and there's not a damn thing you can tell me about it. You better believe I'm finding somebody to chest bump.
And have fun with it.
Over a dad fucking being excited for his son and his teammates? This is what we're doing? This dude's been in the warm-up line giving these families a show in the bleachers. You know how many people are going to be telling the story they were at a AAU game where LeBron joined a layup line and was dunking? God damn, people are infuriating. What the fuck are we talking about here? Okay, last but not least on Yeah Fam or Nah, a Carmelo Anthony farewell tour. So we all know Carmelo has been without a job since early last season. Trainers and players have been calling for Melo to get one final season and a farewell tour in the NBA, a la Dwayne Wade. I mean, yeah, fam, why not? Why wouldn't a shit team sign him, pay him some money, and in the meantime sell a shitload of tickets and generate revenue? Why the fuck not? Tell me why. Oh, and an early you played yourself goes to Damian Lillard. Lillard was one of the players calling for a Melo farewell tour. And then someone replied asking why the Blazers don't sign him. And all of a sudden, Damian Lillard became a salary cap wizard and was quick to say they don't have room to sign him. You played yourself, Dame. You want a farewell tour, but not part of your team. Got it.
Petty alert, petty alert, petty alert.
All right, let's move on to likey, no likey, hate it. And the likey has to go to fantasy football. Hey, fantasy football.
What it do, baby?
That's alright, Kawhi. Also, please everyone, don't play yourselves in draft too early. Training camp's just starting, guys. Don't get caught by the injury bug. Yes, I know before you keyboard warriors tell me, I know Dynasty Leagues probably got us draft early. Yeah. You know what I mean. None of you PPR, non-PPR, whatever it is, don't draft this early. Don't play yourselves. My no likey goes to the New York Mets. What the fuck are they doing trading for Marcus Stroman? A below 500 team outside the playoffs, buying instead of selling? Or are they acquiring Stroman only to turn around and trade Noah Syndergaard? What's the fucking plan here? And let me make this very clear. The only reason this is a no likey is because who gives a fuck about the New York Mets? And what do I always say? This is why bad teams stay bad. There's no fucking plan. They're just doing it, I'm guessing, partly to stick it to the Yankees so they couldn't get Stroman. Wouldn't put it past them. If that's the case, sound it.
Petty alert, petty alert, petty alert.
But also, if that's the case, tell me so I can appreciate you in the proper way. Alright, I promise it'll come later. My hate it is to Jerry Jones. On an interview with CBS 11, he was asked about the comparison between Ezekiel Elliott and Cowboys legend Emmitt Smith. Jones was quick to point out how Smith was the first running back to win a season rush title and a Super Bowl. This was in 1993. Quote, the point there is, you don't have to have a rushing champion to win a Super Bowl. Emmitt was the first one to do it. End quote. So a little bit of background here. A player winning the Super Bowl and a rushing title in the same season has happened only 4 times. Emmitt Smith 3 times for their 3 Super Bowls in the 90s. And the Denver Broncos' Terrell Davis in 1998-99 season. Shaun Alexander won the rushing title in 2005-2006 for the Seahawks, but they lost in the Super Bowl. Also, maybe some background worth noting. Since the year 2000, no receiving champion has won a Super Bowl or even made a Super Bowl. We're not keeping that same energy for that group, right? They can still get paid. Oh, okay, got it. Just making sure.
Alert, petty alert, petty
Anyway,
alert.
Jones continued, quote, you've got to do all the things along with having Zeke that allow you to have other players so that you can win the Super Bowl. That's what we're going through. End quote. Jerry, hello. It's me.
What it do, baby?
Constantly disappointed Cowboys fan looking for some success. So, what you read there in your stupid ass quote, which I'm sure you're indulgent enough to read over thinking you were some kind of fucking genius. But what you read there is that you don't need a rushing title champ to win a Super Bowl. But what I read there is that your fucking Super Bowls you keep living 20 plus years in the past for were all won with the rushing champ. All 3 of them were with a great running back, the aforementioned Emmitt Smith. So while everyone else might not be winning with that recipe, you did.
Petty alert. Petty alert. Petty alert.
And why the fuck can Jerry not just say the second part of that quote? Why do you need to add the first part about you don't need a rushing champ? Is it so that you can have Zeke hear it? And what? You think it'll change his mind and make him show up after you devalued his entire position group? What did you hope to accomplish there? Sure, you don't need a rushing title holder to win. But you think it would fucking help? Especially if his name is Ezekiel Elliott? And your whole team's goddamn identity is based off running the ball? And your team flat out isn't very good without him.
And have fun with it.
It's too goddamn early for this, Jerry. Why does it feel like he can't have an off season away from attention grabbing stupidity? It's fucking exhausting, Jerry. Please stop talking. Oh, you don't need a rushing title champ to win a Super Bowl, says the guy who's won 3 Super Bowls with that same fucking recipe. Oh, the first one to do it was Emmitt Smith, who played for your fucking franchise. 3 out of 4 that have done it were for your fucking franchise. You literally can't make this stupidity up. This man owns the most valuable franchise in sports and wonders why he can't win a Super Bowl. He would trade this and that for a Super Bowl, the whole 9 yards. I would trade his fucking mouth for a Super Bowl. How about that?
And have fun with it.
All right, Joker, hit it.
Here we go.
It's time for You Played Yourself. First up on You Played Yourself is Lamar Jackson. So Ravens head coach John Harbaugh hinted that Jackson could break Cam Newton's career high 139 rush attempts in a season. He said, quote, bet the over, end quote. And I said, quote, yikes, end quote. Cam Newton's 6'5", 250. Lamar is not that. Cam is banged up at that size. We'll just hope for the best for Lamar. Hopefully a lot of those 140 plus rush attempts are heading out of bounds. Next up, Trevor Bauer. Before we begin, we definitely got to sound that.
Petty alert. Petty alert. Petty alert.
This dude launched a baseball over the center field wall after a bad pitching outing right before he got pulled by manager Terry Francona. If you haven't seen the clip, I highly recommend it because as soon as he launches it and has to face his coach, he realizes what an idiot he was while Francona had his hands on his hips in the most disappointed stance. So we gave him the alert. Permission to join Team Petty. This would be our first baseball player actually on it. Denied. I love the toss. He launched it. But I want the kind of petty where you keep that same energy. Not the kind you need to apologize for, like Bauer had to. Keep that in mind as you submit your applications. You Played Yourself goes to Le'Veon Bell for apologizing to fantasy football owners. He said in a post, quote, "This is long overdue, but I want to take a moment to apologize to all the fantasy owners who picked me last year. I'm sorry I couldn't pull through for y'all, but trust me, this year's about to be way different. I'm bringing the trophies this year." End post. Hey man, fantasy football owners appreciate you apologizing. But fucking sound it.
Petty alert. Petty alert. Petty alert.
Cue that JoJo, Too Little Too Late. Like, this is on behalf of all fantasy owners.
Petty alert. Petty alert. Petty alert.
Like, you're you're apologizing a whole fantasy season later doesn't help us for shit. Also, you played yourself within you played yourself to the fantasy owners that spent high picks on him last year anyway. Couldn't be me, fam. Oh yeah, you can sound it again.
Petty alert, petty alert, petty alert.
I'm the team captain. You already know what I'm about. Alright, back to the NBA. You played yourself goes to NBA executives. So, ESPN and ESPN's Tim Bontemps asked 20 coaches, executives, and scouts from across the NBA about what happened and what lies ahead on topics ranging from who's the best player in the league to which team will win next season's championship. So if you get a second, you can read how each of the 20 voted, but a few highlights. Some things they got right. Their top 3 worst moves were the Knicks offseason. Perfect. Then Ricky Rubio to Phoenix. That's even a move I forgot. And Terry Rozier to the Charlotte Hornets, which was one I pointed out. But then, here's where they played themselves. They got to who's the best in the NBA. So here are the results. 12 out of 20 voted for Kawhi. 6 for Giannis. And 2 for James Harden. I've talked about it before on previous episodes. Y'all just keep playing yourselves and forget about the best player in the world. Keep giving LeBron James no love. I can't wait till y'all's mouths are shut later in the season. You're just flat out fucking unable to keep that same energy. Let it be known. Check the podcast history, baby. Don't play yourselves. LeBron's still the best. You already know how I felt even going through it. This man is going to be on a mission, and you just keep adding fuel to the fire. Bring it. Last but not least is Steve Kerr. So Steve Kerr is usually the one member of the Snakes of Oakland that's likable. But he played himself this time. Kerr said on the Warriors Insider podcast, quote, "I'm talking more about the Anthony Davis situation, where a guy's perfectly healthy and has a couple years left on his deal and says, I want to leave. That's a real problem that this league has to address and that players have to be careful with. When you sign on that dotted line, you owe your effort and your play to that team, to that city, to the fans. And then it's completely your right to leave as a free agent. But if you sign the contract, then you should be bound to that contract. If you come to an agreement with the team that, hey, it's probably best for us to part ways, that's one thing. But the Davis stuff was really kind of groundbreaking and hopefully not a trend because it's bad for the league." End quote. You know what's fucking bad for the league? You know what I hope isn't a trend instead? A fucking 73-9 team adding Kevin Durant to their roster because they blew a goddamn 3-1 lead in the NBA Finals. Why the fuck can't a current player give his current team a heads up that he won't be re-signing? What's better, giving your current team an opportunity to get something in exchange for you, or just flat out losing him? I'm not used to Steve Kerr having like such a shitty take, but how can you be so unaware? This will ruin the league, not the fact that you got fucking Kevin Durant on an existing good team. You know what I hope isn't a trend? Draymond Green calling another star player to add to their roster from the parking lot after a loss. That's what I hope isn't a fucking trend.
Petty alert, petty alert, petty alert.
Alright, on to who you got and what you feeling. Last week, I switched it up, went a little MLB with the trade deadline. Discussed if a team's on the bubble of a wild card or not making the playoffs, heading into the trade deadline, do you buy or do you sell? I am more on the team of selling. Making the wild card is not a given to make a deep run in the playoffs. So I am definitely a fan of selling if that's going to be the best way to acquire talent moving forward, especially because baseball is so different from year to year. It can be a pretender one year and a real World Series contender the next. I brought up the example of a team like the Red Sox, maybe one of the exceptions, and want to buy. I promised that I would start getting into fantasy football here, so I figured in a slow sports time, this is the time to start talking a little bit about them. So I thought first up I would make my picks for some fantasy football sleepers. So breaking down by position, quarterback. I am on team wait for drafting QBs in your draft, so if you don't reach for a QB, I'm in favor. I don't have a flat-out steal. I know the early indications are that Josh Allen of the Bills is one of them. But I'm a big advocate for filling in wide receivers and running backs. Also, let me preface this in all my picks with the knock on wood. To those of you that are fans of the teams they're on, I, as a very rational, superstitious fan,
What it do, baby?
would hate to jinx another true rational, superstitious fan. First up, running backs. A couple that I like that, are not as obvious. New England's Damian Harris. Because we all know New England, you might be a feature back 1 week, but the very next week you could be on the bench. Also, really like Deonta Foreman of the Houston Texans. He could easily take the starting role from all-glass all-star Lamar Miller. As for wide receiver, do your research on the Pittsburgh Steelers wide receivers opposite of Juju Smith-Schuster. I personally really like James Washington. I think this is going to be his time to shine, and he'll get some open looks with defenses focusing on Juju. As for homer pick, Michael Gallup, he is wide receiver 2 on the Dallas Cowboys, and room was definitely cleared by Allen Hurns' departure. Another couple young guys to consider, the Cardinals' Christian Kirk, who should develop quite the rapport with Kyler Murray, and Cortland Sutton on Denver. They have Joe Flacco's big arm out there. Emmanuel Sanders can only get so many touches. For tight end, if you can't get one of the top tight ends, we're talking Kelsey, Kittle, Ertz, consider one of the young guys paired with maybe an old guy like Jason Witten or Greg Olsen. There's a lot of young talent out there, including rookies this past year, where they can be handcuffed by maybe a veteran tight end that you can count on to maybe pick up a touchdown or some first down yardage. As for defense and kicker, if you even draft one of these positions before the last 2 rounds, we're not in the same wavelength, fam. As for what I'm feeling, I know it's been getting mixed reviews. I'm feeling Chance the Rapper's debut album, The Big Day. And I'm also feeling getting to see Khalid in concert, live with some of my favorite people. So music heavy here. The too much sense this week, the advice you didn't ask for, but I'm going to give you anyway, is a reminder. Do selfless things for your friends. They deserve it. If they're truly your friend, you should never expect anything in return. You should want to do it. Helping's good. It's good for the soul. It's good for the people around you. And it doesn't hurt to know that people can depend on you. So that friend that's moving, offer to help. They might not want to ask, but do it anyway. And that's going to wrap up another edition of the #1 podcast in your headphones, Prem Brulee. You know the drill. Do not get it twisted. Do not ever play yourselves. And you also know to tell a friend about Prem Brulee, to leave a review, to make sure you're subscribed, and to check out all of the other podcasts by the Play Call Network. We'll talk to you next time.